Yeah, so I mean, to give you a little bit of like, I guess, background behind the Imam Company. I've been in CrossFit since 2018. I was like eight, I mean, I was 18 years old whenever I started. 29 years old now, and I kind of got serious into competing back in. Sorry, I didn't start CrossFit in 2018. I started in 2013. So
Okay,
I've
that
been at
sounds
it like
like
a
the
yeah.
age.
That didn't make sense. So 2013 is when I started. I got serious into competing probably around 2017. Went to the CrossFit Games a handful of times, and but it was always kind of like a side thing that I was doing.
Okay.
I competed while I was in undergrad studying physics. I competed in graduate school while I was getting a master's. I competed in residency, and last year I competed while I run a company with my father in physics. So by trade, I'm a medical physicist. I'm a consultant, so I contract out to hospitals and imaging centers in the South. I'm from Louisiana.
Okay.
So I mean, we do work in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. So we travel a good bit. We jump around a lot. We're pretty busy. Um, but yeah, so even still, like CrossFit has been just something I've always done on the side from like the career that I've chosen. And whenever I moved back home from residency in 21, like during COVID, I was moving back to help my dad, and he'd gotten sick from COVID. He was behind on work a little bit because I mean he was down and out pretty bad, and so I moved home, started trying to catch up with the backlogged work, and in that, like I had very little time between like moving houses, catching up on work, just like just a complete change of life. Um, like I didn't have any time to commit to the gym like I used to. Training as like a CrossFit Games athlete, you got to put in like 3 hours of work a day. And I had like maybe 30 minutes. And so I started doing 30-minute EMOMs. Just like once a day, I'd pick three movements, usually a load like a barbell, a dumbbell, or a kettlebell, some kind of body weight movement, and some kind of machine. And I just like mix them up and throw them in for like 10 rounds. And at the end of the 30 minutes, dude, I'd be wiped. I'd be I got my lifting in, I got like conditioning, I got 30 minutes of just like true gritty work. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm good. I can like refocus on all the things I got to take care of. And it was in December of 21, I think, that I was working out with my brother-in-law. And I'd been doing these 30-minute pieces for a while, and I was feeling good. I was like feeling like I was getting back in shape, feeling like healthy, feeling like motivated again, just like felt good all overall.
Hmm.
And so I was like, dude, I wonder if we just like threw this on Instagram, if people would be like interested in like following along with some of these workouts because it was kind of different. Um, he's like, yeah, I think that'd be cool. It's like I initially like the idea was like, okay, I'll just throw these workouts on Instagram. So like I started an Instagram page, the Imam Company. I thought the name was kind of cool, kind of catchy. And I would just like do like once or twice a week, maybe three times a week. I'd throw an Imam workout on there, and people kind of started following it. Um, and I'd have other people do like workouts for me. I'd use their videos on the page, or whatever. And it kind of like started catching enough traction to where people were messaging me frequently enough asking about like daily program. Like, was there anywhere that they could purchase like a daily program? I was like, no, like we don't sell a program. This is like what we have on the page is like what we have to offer. It's like free. Because I knew like, if people started paying me to write a program, I'd have to start delivering daily.
Yeah.
And so like it would become like a commitment. And at the time, like I was terrified of that commitment because I was, still busy as hell with work. And not really, I didn't really know what I was doing. I wouldn't have like it would have taken time to kind of like process all that. But then it got to a time where like enough people were asking about it to where I was like, okay, like maybe we could do this. And so like I kind of like tested it like beta tested it on like for a month with some of my friends, writing like daily programming, like asking what they felt, how they liked it, whatever. And the feedback was good. And so I remember like texting my brother-in-law and be like, hey, like, what if we gave this a shot? Like, what if we try to sell this on like some one of like the training platforms? And so like we looked at a few different price points, and it like Train Heroic was a low barrier to entry. The fee was okay on it. and we didn't really expect to have like a ton of members either.
Yeah.
And so we kind of like, developed like an idea of like what we wanted to offer, which was, less than an hour of really solid functional fitness work. 20 to 30 minutes of conditioning every day. We try to put it in lifts regularly. And well, I mean, what we offer now is in the daily program because we have like three different tiers. We have like a daily program, we have a gauntlet, which is like a step up. It's like 90 minutes of work. And we have like a compete, which is, like everything that you should probably try to fit in if you're trying to like compete at a high level in like
Hmm.
the sport. But like even our daily program has evolved like so much over the past 3 years, that it's still recognizable from like our original, but I think it's a much better product and like a lot more value. But yeah, so like we kind of like drew up the regimen for like what we wanted to provide. Like we just kind of launched it. And at first we had like, like 25 members, dude. And I was like, dude, if we have one member, like that'd be cool for me, like
Yeah.
I'll still do this. And we had like 25 members. And then after, several months, we were like at 75. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like we got like 75 members. We tripled, our subscription. And I remember like for a while, like we were trying to get to 100, trying to get to 100, trying to like I was like, I want to break like, 100 people. And like we finally like hit that marker. Um, like last year, I think we broke like, 150. I was like, oh man, that's dope. And then I don't know what happened, but like over the past couple months, like our social media exploded. Like
Hmm.
there's like a couple videos that
That's
had
what I
like,
noticed. Y'all are bumping because that's what I just saw your personal page, and then when I was just doing research yesterday, I was like clicking the link in your bio. I was like, oh my God, like y'all's shit pops off.
yeah, dude. Like I I don't know why. Like we had one video. I was like working out in my driveway, just
Yeah.
like a
No, I literally saw I noticed that. It's
like
40,000
yeah.
like
Like
likes or something.
like nothing different that I'd ever done. Just working out in my driveway, a workout that I'd posted more than once on the page as just like my
Yeah.
third time attempting this workout that I'd never finished.
Yeah.
And dude, like 7.5 million views or something. Like I remember that night I posted it, we had like 9,000 followers on Instagram, which to me was big. And like we probably had like, 200 members or something at the time. And then that video just hit. We had like 7.5 million views already or whatever. And like we're at like almost 79,000 followers now. Like,
Damn.
dude, overnight, like we went like in a week span, we gained like 60,000 followers. I was like, this is weird. Like when it hit 15,000, I was like, all right, this should stop. Like this is too many. Like we've gotten too many. And then it was like 30. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And then it was like 40. I was like, surely it'll slow down. And dude, it just kept rolling. I was like,
That's crazy.
whatever. I mean, guess this works. But no, like yeah, over the since the new year, we've brought in like a little team. We have like a marketer, who writes copyright for us and like kind of helps out with flow and things like that, which I had no business even attempting.
Hmm.
Um, we got like videography, guy for videography who's kind of helping out with some higher level stuff to kind of break it into like I guess like YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, and then a couple contractors who help write program or like a, our brainchild who just like comes up with like all these awesome ideas that we kind of put into place, and he's been really awesome. So our team's expanded. I don't take any money out of it. Like all of it gets kind of like reinvested back into the mom company, which is cool.
So are you
Um,
doing it full time now, or are you still doing, you're
no,
still a
dude.
physicist?
So the only way this works is that I'm a full-time physicist.
That's crazy.
Um, yeah, so I've got two physics companies. One with my father, and then one that's kind of separate from there, that I run by myself. And that's the only way that I can reinvest every dollar
Yeah.
back into the mom company.
Yeah.
And so like, what we make, we don't take out. We use it to, you know,
Scale.
to try to scale. And
Yeah.
yeah, for a while that been all scaling meant was buying, shirts, it was just buying apparel so that we could like basically make no margin on it, because we couldn't buy enough to make a decent margin. We made maybe like 10% on apparel, and I gave away so much in the process that like whatever margin we had was gone.
Yeah.
Um, but like just to get the name out there, or it was like, sponsoring local competitions with, $500 for an event winner. you know, just like as anything we could do to kind of give back in hopes that it would grow because like the money wasn't going to make a big difference at the time anyway.
Yeah,
It was like just pour it back in. And so even now, you were doing pretty well, but like almost every dollar just goes right back into it,
that's
you know?
sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, dude. So what is that's crazy that literally the past couple of months you blown because I saw the page and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are crushing it organically. So the
Yeah.
main acquisition funnels you guys have right now is just organic. Like everything, every new member is just from organic, and then obviously you have your guy doing the email back end flows and stuff and
Yeah.
sort of systemizing that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
So we have an email chain now. We have like a couple hundred people like subscribe to that. I think it's actually like a lot of people because we've done like giveaways of like,
Yep.
30 body weight imams if you sign up to our email list. And a lot of people just stay on there.
Yep.
Um, so like giving away value to return to like to get value.
Yep.
Um, and so like we've like kind of leveraged that to kind of keep people in our pool of, being able to give information out. Doing like things like challenges where again, like we did a 30-day challenge at the new year where we gave away $1,500 to Rogue to get exercise equipment. And like that was a huge success for us. We had a lot of people like jump into our program, and the hope was that we provided a good enough program that like they wanted to stick around and like they found value in it. So like we gave value to try to receive value.
Yep.
So that's kind of been like a good model for us is like give away as much as we can,
Yep.
provide as much value to the members and like the community that we've kind of created. And it's worked so well. I mean,
Yeah, I
well
think
so far.
that's what I see too is like a lot of people in the space, especially maybe the smaller people that are trying to get into it, are too afraid to give away like free value, and they think they're just like sort of losing money doing that.
Yeah.
But then you see like the big pattern is the large online coaches with the big businesses that are making lots of money are giving away everything. So then
Yeah.
what it's like it's just building that reputation and that
Yeah.
trust with your customer, especially like cold customers that are coming in and they're like, wow, these guys are like, they really care about me. It's
Yeah.
not just like about the money. That's whenever you see like true success.
Yeah. I mean, even when we were small, man, like I said, like with the apparel, like I gave away so much. Like in our local community, we were kind of like gaining some notoriety, like in Louisiana in the South,
Hmm.
Just I mean, partially from my reputation as like a competitive athlete, like I was locally in the community,
Hmm.
but then also I guess like from like our programming standpoint. But like I mean, I'd be at gyms or at Mardi Gras or whatever, and people are like, "Oh, like, dude, I love that shirt." We're like, "Dude, cheers!" Like, I'd take off my sweater, I'd take off my shirt, I'd like give them my hat. Like, if people wanted it, I just give it to them. And like, I mean, my wife, like, or like my brother-in-law, be like, "Dude, you gotta stop giving away all your stuff." I'm like, well, "You can just order more, man. It's okay. It'll be okay."
Yeah.
Um, like, I mean, I've given away things off my back, off my head, like so many times. And like so in the beginning, it was just small. We had people who were with us since like day one, where I'm watching like their stories that they tag us in, lifting their garage without any clips on their barbell. So like be like, hey, what's your address? And like we'll send like barbell clips, you
That's
know.
sick.
Or like one of our guys who like has been with us like since the first day. Like I was like, hey, what's your address? Like we just send them like shirts and shorts, you know. Just like little things like that, like where you notice like people who are very involved in the community, you're like you appreciate like what they do and like them being there. So like you just send them something small, like it doesn't cost us much, and like I don't know, I think it's just a cool thing to be able to give back a little bit.
That's super dope, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. So with all this sort of like gaining steam and you're working obviously your main job and you're reinvesting this like you obviously you've had plenty of conversations over the past couple months probably with your team, but like where's your like what's your main objective and like where are you trying to take this and grow this maybe from a business standpoint and also just from outside looking in like where are you trying to take this to?
yeah, that's a good question, man. Like I think in the beginning we talked about when we first started things, it was like, well, maybe we can get big enough and like I think the online subscription was at first like a beta test to see if the way that I trained was like people found value in.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, if we have enough traction here, maybe like a brick and mortar gym, like an actual like a true physical location would be something that would be like valuable and like, open up a lot of different locations. I think because like I mean, I think like in the functional fitness space, like a single location isn't enough to like
Yeah.
change a life. But if you can have multiple locations and like maybe like then you can actually start again like snowballing like the revenue stream. It's like we've had that idea, but like the online business model does like so well and it's so scalable, that like right now, like that's a big focus. Um, I think, dude, breaking into YouTube is like if you can gain traction there, there's a huge opportunity. And again, like what we want to do there is simply provide value, not necessarily entertainment, but like actual, true value, which there is value in entertainment, obviously. Like, dude, some of those channels are huge just because they provide an escape for people in their day to day, or like they just
Yep.
enjoy the entertainment of it. But I think we're backed in like providing value to our community. And so that's something, we just started like last month to kind of get the ball rolling there. Um, yeah, so main objective will always be to provide value to the community.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, just from like hearing what you're doing right now and stuff, I think that's cool that you're already like building a team and assimilating like you know what it takes to achieve scale and you already like reinvesting every single dollar back into it because
Yeah.
you found the hardest part one is like knowing that the product is proven like it's a proven product like people are using it and like they're changing their lives just from using it like
Yeah.
that's the number one obstacle that 99% of people can't achieve but then it's just like building out that journey and that customer journey giving the free value and then obviously on the back end like doing all the emails and all like the back end journey so you're always having a touch point always giving free value you already got your organic social down now going to YouTube. I think you guys sort of have that figured out. And then once you guys, my 2 cents is like, once you guys have that cracked down and you guys are like in a comfortable spot in the next month or so, like I think starting to dip into, like paid advertising and stuff. And if your marketing guy knows that, he may be talking about it. But
Yeah.
that's sort of what we do is like, okay, we look at with like the people that we're scaling, we're looking at their subscription base and like, okay, they're charging $45 a month and the LTV of their customers like $300. And then we start running paid ads and it's just like you're trying to calculate to see what your profit margins are. And if you're able to acquire people for $30-$20 a person, that's how you truly achieve scale. And then with
Yeah.
all the back end, that's how you truly scale the community. It's like it's truly just like magic. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. And so I think that's like that's how we've seen that's literally like what we do to scale. It's
Yeah.
just like that's how we add fuel to the fire. And I feel like that's truly the way to do it.
Right. Yeah. We started playing around with Instagram ads a little bit. Like we did like are you familiar with like the Murph challenge? Like the Murph
Yep.
workout?
Yeah, I saw something y'all did like
Yeah.
something with the Murph.
Yeah. We put out like an 8 week program. And this was really cool because we there was like a young kid who's an absolute aerobic animal. Like like a D1 wrestler, but like an absolute aerobic animal. Like this week, he was like, dude, I ran a warm up mile in like 4:52. Like
What?
you're a savage. But like he wrote our 8 week program. This was the first time like I really like kind of let go of control to let someone else like write a program for us.
Yep.
Um, and it brought in like a decent amount of cash over like a 3 week period.
That's
And
sick.
like, yeah, like so
So
we
what
ran.
was it? I know it was the Murph. I know the Murph, but what was the challenge? Because I saw you posting about it and it's on
Yeah.
like your
So
link.
we didn't run a challenge on it. We ran just a one-time purchase of an 8 week progression to prepare for the Murph challenge.
Oh,
Murph
okay,
challenge
okay.
is just like the workout that everyone does on
Yeah.
like Memorial Day, right? Right.
Yeah.
Um, and so we're like, yeah, PR your Murph time with, our 8 week progression. It's got like running progressions, functional bodybuilding, and then just like preparing yourself for the volume. Because Murph's like a ton of volume. It's like a
Yeah.
100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats with a vest, and then like a mile
200
run on
reps.
either side of it.
Yeah.
Um, And so like that was a really cool thing. That was like the first time we did like a one-time purchase program. So like it's created. We'll run the challenge every year. But again, dude, like with that, we're like, hey, you, you if you purchase this program for us, we're gonna raffle off like a free Go Ruck vest, you know.
That's sick.
So like another opportunity for us to just kind of throw in some awesome value for our members, and like it's really cool, you know. They'll get to use it for the Memorial Day Murph, and like they get to prepare with it. So like that's really cool.
That's awesome, dude. No, yeah, that I think is dope. And I was just like, it's cool seeing like all these, fitness coaches of like, I literally was just on a podcast this morning with a dude that's in China, training the Chinese Olympic team for wrestling this summer. It's like, it's so cool seeing like all the different ventures people have and like how can all like assimilate back to just like online training. Like there's
Yeah,
wrestling, there's, CrossFit, there's bodybuilding, there's so many different things that you can do, and it's cool seeing like how everyone, it's all like the same at the end of the day. It's all sort of like the same playbook that people are running, but it's cool seeing like all the different twists that people are putting onto it
yeah,
and the
yeah,
community that it builds.
yeah. I mean, dude, I didn't really feel like I had any kind of authority to write a program at first.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, why would people buy a program from me? Like one, the space is super competitive too. Like, dude, there's a lot of people out there. Um, and so like I didn't really have any confidence in doing it. But at the same time, like I said, like I was just super lucky that I'm in a space where like I can take the chance and like trying something out and just seeing like what happens to it without like I'm not betting any chips on it really,
Yeah.
you know. It's like dude, super blessed to be able to do that, and like it's grown way past what I like ever expected it would. And it's cool to be able to see that like oh like we're part of like that, you know, what you see, you know. I don't know, I just didn't really expect to be able to get there.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me because that's how I sort of started out back in. So I was playing football growing up. I played college football, and that's what whenever I was playing college football, that's when COVID hit my freshman year. And so I started just posting on Instagram with my boys in the garage gym. I'm like, let's just like post on Instagram our workouts. Like literally we just had our power rack and some dumbbells and stuff in our garage. And we started posting and connecting with a bunch of, this is when TikTok was super early and like 30,000 followers on TikTok was a lot at the time. And
Yeah,
so I was just like connecting with people, whatever we were posting early. And like, we were getting hundreds of thousands of views on stuff. We're like, what the hell is going on? It's literally just us posting our
yeah,
workouts and started making YouTube videos and stuff. A year later, so we made like an apparel company out of it. It was called Yoke Club. And so we'd go travel around. And my entire goal was like, I just want to travel with my friends and like go to different gyms, like Zoo Culture in California, go to
yeah.
Alpha. And I'm here in Dallas. So that's we're out here. And so
Right on.
I started doing it and I was running out of my parents' garage and we were doing a 7-figure run rate after a year. And so that's what
Wow.
people like reach out to me and they're like, because here in the Dallas area, there's a ton of like sports nutrition companies, fitness companies. And so they reach out to me and they're like, yo, dude, how did you guys like do this? Like, it's crazy. You're 20-year-old kids doing this. And so
Yeah,
that's sort of, I hit my buddy up who was running our paid at like our marketing guy up in Boston. I'm like, dude, I'm having all these people come to me asking me like, if we could provide services to him. He was obviously providing services to me. So I was like, how do we do this? So that's when we made the Visionary Group back in 2021. And so now this is sort of where it's came to is like we're working with all these fitness companies, we're working with online coaches. So it's cool because I've always just loved training since I was like
yeah,
trained to be a Division 1 college player is my whole goal in life. And so once I accomplished that, it's like, okay, what's the next thing? And I just fell in love with just training in the gym. And
yeah,
so now helping people inspire other people to train and stuff is like super cool to do. And that's my whole thing is just trying to connect and network with, people like yourselves. Cause that sort of reminds me of the same story. It's like we were just posting in my
yeah,
garage and it's just like it blew up. It's like, what the hell? And there's so many opportunities come from it. So it's cool that like you got I wish I knew what you knew today because like I was a lot younger back then. So it's like you guys are sort of hitting that wave now. And it
yeah,
seems like you guys are like really capitalizing on it. So that's super
yeah.
cool.
I think trying. But like I just knew that in like mean, in order to make something grow, you have to water it, right?
Yeah.
And like for me, that just meant like reinvesting every dollar that we made.
Yep.
Um, and then on top of that, providing like true value where you like, and by that I mean value where you don't necessarily expect to get something in return for it,
Yep.
right? Like the giveaways, like the free workouts. Like, I mean, even to this day, like, dude, people could follow our Instagram account and basically train 5 days a week at like a pretty damn high level just by
Yeah.
what I provide, like in the comment section on my stuff, dude. Like, and people do. Like, people tag us all the time, like, pull this one from wherever, like from the page or whatever. It's like, even still, like to this day, we provide a lot of really like just free value, you know?
Yeah, that's sick. No, I think that that's a testament to like really just putting out, building the reputation and like building that trust with your customer. Like at some point, it's gonna pay off. So
Yeah,
it's all about like the customer journey and really doing that.
yeah.
My last question before we hop off, I know you probably got to run too and you're busy, but your gym, is that in your garage? That sick? You have like the whole like the painting of
Like all blacked
everything.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like with the small, because I have the gym where it's not even my gym, dude. It's
That's
like
what I
the
was
CrossFit,
curious because I saw like I thought it was your garage, and then I saw another one with a bigger
the
logo on
big
it.
one. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
the big one is at the CrossFit gym here. The owner was like, whenever we first started, the owner was like, "Do you want to paint like your logo on our wall?" I was like,
that
"Yeah,
is
but like
sick.
if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it like big. We're gonna black out the whole wall." He's like, "That'd be sick." So we did that a few years ago. But yeah, like the
That's
blacked
cool.
out wall is my garage. Like the whole garage is just a gym, you know. Our house isn't like overly large. So like the gym's not gonna go anywhere else other than our garage. And like, dude, it's awesome.
That's
I love it.
sick. No,
Yeah.
I'll have to come check it out whenever we drive out to Louisiana or Florida. Because whenever we go to Florida for our trips, we just drive through
Yeah,
Louisiana.
dude,
Where are you
we're
in Louisiana?
just north of New Orleans. So just stop
Oh,
on by,
sweet.
dude. Come catch a workout.
Let's go. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on you. Obviously, I'm following you on Instagram and stuff now. And so if you ever need anything from us, feel free to reach out. Have any questions about just like the back end, or if you see anything from me that's like, yo, how do I do this? Just, I'm really here to just provide value. If you need anything, feel free to
That's
let me
right.
know. But I'll keep you posted. Now I'm inspired to get a little bit of CrossFit workouts now too.
Awesome, bud. Yeah, we'll do an EMOM, 30
Let's
minutes.
go. All right. I'll see you,
Cool.
man. This is a
Later,
great
bud.
combo.
Yes, sir.
All right. Nice to meet you. Peace.